Uh, all right, everybody, welcome back for Game 3 of Week 6 Batty League. I'm here with everybody's favorite top laner, AJS0. How you doing, buddy?
Well, I just lost. You just lost. I'm ready to take out some salt on this game, man. So
Tell me
hopefully we
about
can
it.
hop right into it. Now,
Yeah.
guys, I want to get everyone on stream as upset as we are right now. So I'm going to tell you guys what we just lost. I had a secret plan I've been formulating in the past week because everyone wanted to see WCF 2.0. So if Boy Butter had gotten to 0-9 in week 10, we were actually going to do a 6-man Clown Fiesta cast where we were all actively rooting against Boy Butter. So next time you're talking to Master Splinter or anybody else on that team, let them know what they robbed from us because it would have been incredible.
I am extraordinarily sad, and I'm sure you're sad to have lost possession of Soul first place.
It not great, especially when both your losses come from the same team because you can't live that down all season. Like Boosted, we could finish first and Boosted could finish fourth, but we'd hear all the way until Boosted get knocked out of the playoffs about how we can't handle them. So
Yeah, oh yeah.
but you take your loss, you grow from it. We almost lost the Boy Butter, so I mean I kind of understand how you feel.
Dude, they came to play tonight. I mean, obviously it feels bad, but on the positive end, they've played the best they have yet, so...
All right, but anyways, we are in. So in case you were not aware from these incredible tags, we have Think Twice, Die Once on the blue team with presumably 30 still at support, and Batty Bargain Bin on the red team. 30 and company obviously coming off a win last week, their first game with 30 back in supports. Bargain Bin coming off a loss to Waifu Superstar. And this game could have a whole bunch of tiebreaker scenarios. If Bargain Bin wins, they go into a two-way tie for first place with Waifu
If
Superstar.
either team wins.
Or yes, that's right.
They're both
the winner
3 and
goes
3.
into a tie.
Yeah.
And the loser gets to be a part of the three-way tie for third through fifth.
Yeah, the 3-3 fuckfest. So let's going into these bands here, Switch. We have Vel'Koz and Poppy, and we're shortly going to see a third band coming out from Think Twice, Die Once.
I feel like there's a good chance it's going to be Scion. Actually, one thing I want to note, because I wasn't paying enough attention to notice this until now, Batty Bargain Bin is not playing Madam Strip. I don't know if that's intentional or Strip is just unavailable, but this is something I've been kind of talking about behind the scenes. I think they should consider giving maybe Coffee the start in top lane while Mikiro jungles. And whether it's Coffee or Mikiro in the top lane, obviously Mikiro played a top lane Shyvana game earlier this season. It is not going to be Madam Strip, so that could be a big change from what we've seen.
I mean, we see Madam Strip struggle in a lot of these games where he's not on a few of his very select strong champions like Lulu. We're gonna go ahead and see a third band of Orianna coming out. We've seen most of Bulbuer's success on Orianna and Vel'Koz besides the Scion, so I think they're not too worried about him cheese picking there. That kind of removes Blab's power picks.
Yeah, I like those bands out of TDO. And 30's the kind of guy. I know that this is not a team who's going to be surprised by a Scion pick. They are definitely going to be crafted around that pick being there because there is the absolute counter pick for Triple B.
Yeah. And then from the purple same, Triple V, their bands are Vi, Jarvan the Fourth, and Nautilus. Vi and J4. J4 has been picked by...
Thermidor hasn't played it in the SBL, but it is one of his most played champs in ranked. He plays a lot of Vi, Jarvan, and I believe Nocturne.
Okay, yeah, so I knew the Vi's definitely targeted, and Nautilus is targeted at Purple Pickle Pie and 30. That's a really nice band against this team. Both their top laner and their support have seen a lot of success with that champion, so I like that band a lot as well.
Yeah, 30's always traditionally been a very, very good Nautilus player, so definitely agreed. Has not mattered what point in time. And first two picks coming out of BBB here are going to be Trundle and Gragas, which presumably could both be flex picks. Depending on how much these guys have champion pools picked up, but I do expect it's going to be Mikiro on Gragas in the jungle.
I'm almost certain it's Trundle top Coffee, Mikiro, Gragas. At the very least, I know that those players are playing that champ. Coffee is on Trundle, Micro is on Gragas. Which role they go to, that could be up to be determined. But those positions are 100% set.
That's true. I mean, these guys did pick at the same time, so unless they're just picking each other's champions to try to throw off 30 and company, Coffee is hovering that smite on Trundle.
That could be it as well. Micro does not play Trundle, and Coffee does not play Gragas, is the biggest thing to know there for both their champion pools. So unless they've been have some alternate account secret practice tech going on, maybe. And
Hey,
then
I busted out an Atlas that no one knew was coming tonight. Why are we
That's
assuming
true.
that Coffee can't do the same thing?
I mean, I'm making an assumption, but it could be wrong. Meanwhile, we have Ziggs and Shyvana to come out and complement out this Sivir for the second and third pick
I
from
love
TDO.
the Shyvana Sivir combination. And one thing I didn't get to talk about last week or the week before when Thermidor played Shyvana, but when I played with him, even though he hasn't been playing it much in ranked this season, at least as of last week when I scouted him out, he loved playing Devourer style jungles last split on Guerrilla Radio when he was my teammate. He played a just ton of Devourer, so even though he's been playing high gank so far this season, I am not surprised that he feels confident going back to those Devourer style champions. And because he's been such an exceptional player, I think it's a really good strategy because this lets them switch Zwerms onto a champ like Ziggs when he doesn't want to play as Ari, where he can just wave clear, not try to make plays, and just stall out time, and let the Shyvana Sivir combo get to a really dangerous point of the game.
So yeah, no, that's also very fun. It's also been one of probably one of Zwerm's most comfortable champions. He doesn't feel the need to make plays, so he just kind of sits back, farms the grenades, plays out very well. And the counter picks from that were coming out from Batty Bargabin here. We see another Malzahar. He's been picked 3 times now in the Batty League, and a Lucian. Malzahar's seeing a lot of love in the SBL all of a sudden.
Yeah, this is traditionally been a go-to for Blab when his Vel'Koz and Orianna aren't around. This isn't the only season we've seen him play in it. I remember it in the last 2 seasons. He's had some games on this champion. We'll see what kind of impact he has. Obviously, Blab is a pretty incredible player, so he'll find impact. I expect we're going to see a little more than we saw at a Cruise Master last game.
Yeah, no, Malzahar actually does have a lot of playmaking potential. The thing is that a lot of it puts himself at risk as well.
So baby!
Oh,
Mr. Coffee. So skipping the rest of the picks, Mr. Coffee going to play the legendary, the one, the only player silver enough to ever pick this, Jungle Darius.
I want to point out he has won games in the SBL before as Jungle Darius. This is like Kevin Coffee Classic, everybody. Prepare yourself for the hype.
All I'm saying is if at least one of the casters doesn't go, that is an awful pick. It's not a pocket pick. And that is my thoughts on Jungle Darius. I have no idea what to expect here, folks.
We got a lot of pocket picks coming out here. We got a Malzahar, we got a support Trundle, we got a Jungle Darius.
30's playing Nami.
And 30's on Nami?
Like...
What the
Yeah, can we go to that next? 30's playing Nami. What the fuck is that?
You know what that champion doesn't do, Swift? That champion, it doesn't flash in and hook people. It doesn't flash in and body people. It doesn't... I don't know. What is this?
I don't know. I haven't been scouting 30. I don't know what he's been playing at practice. This was traditionally way back when he first started playing support. One of his big champions back when he was considered a Thresh one-trick pony. He was a decent Nami. But then his pool kind of shifted over towards being just Thresh and Nautilus and Leona every game. And he never really was in situations where he couldn't pick one of those 3 champs. So we never saw much, if any, of his Nami at SBL level. He must just really like something about the matchup. I think that this team just really wants to stall and let Thermidor and Purple Pickle Pie get big. And Nami is going to do a good job of stalling.
Something else to point out is I really like Nami against this baddie bargain bin team, actually. If you think about what Nami brings to the team versus that, and also how she matches up versus support Trundle, the wave is very, very strong against how this baddie bargain team's going to play. And also, it is not jungle Darius. I wanted to believe it's top Darius and jungle Gragas. He got us hyped. He rused us.
This is going to be actually going over to that top lane now. That's really disappointing. But Coffee, I have my eyes on you this game. I think the most important matchup in this game is actually going to be top lane. Because when you're a Darius versus a Dr. Mundo, you need to body that Dr. Mundo. If you're going to pick Darius in general, you need to body your lane opponent. Old Darius was like that. New Darius is still like that. He beats everybody in lane in a 1v1. But obviously, Mr. Coffee's not as good of a laner as Purple Pickle Pie, who has really, really good just straight up 1 versus 1 skill. And on top of that, he's got Thermidor in the jungle playing Shyvana. Shyvana has no gank pressure early. Mikuro on Gragas, that's a lot of gank pressure early. They need to put some eggs into the coffee cup this game and get him rolling. Because if Purple Pickle Pie is able to get scaled up, say an item and a half in without being punished, I think he's going to take over this game.
Yeah, I think that is a totally reasonable thing to expect. The way this game really looks like, if you look at how pretty much across the board how both of these they match up against their counterparts, this baddie bargain team really, really wants to win in the early mid game, and if they haven't closed it out by mid game, have a large enough of a lead that it's just not able to be surmounted back from this TDO squad. Whereas the TDO squad has no interest in doing anything early game. They barely have any interest in mid game unless they're already ahead, and they just want to take this late and just outscale them, siege them, fight them, run them down, put them on.
So one pick I'm not all too familiar with is the support Trundle. Obviously, this has been a big thing for a while now in every region. You see a lot of this professional level, but it's not something that's really trickled down to lower levels. And with how little I've been playing pot lane, I've actually not played with more than 1 or 2 support Trundles. Do you know much about how that champion operates in lane?
Yeah, actually, I think that's also a big part of the reason why 30 chose to go with this Nami. It makes me surprised that they kind of picked the Trundle. Not that they picked the Trundle, they banned the Nautilus. Maybe just out of straight fear.
Whoa, what the?
Here's Manlord.
He's a fucking SBL champion. He's got more wins on Boy Butter than King. He's here to chase the Miracle Fox. All right, support Trundle. What can you tell me about support Trundle?
So I'm sorry. Manlord is too powerful of a
It's
voice.
just up on my second monitor, and if he was moved 3 inches to the right, it would be covering up his face, but it's not.
Okay, so support Trundle, the big thing with support Trundle is he's just a total shit disturber. His really big strength for one is that he gets really tanky off his alt steal, just straight up yanks other people's tank stats. So it's really, really strong when the other team have other really big bruisers that rely on a lot of their tank stats and build these huge HP pools. Because all of a sudden your support steals it. It's why is this support tanky as my top laner? And doing the same amount of damage. This is some bullshit. But the thing is, you really rely heavily on that pillar for, to disengage and engage, but just kind of set up the zone control in fights. Normally, a lot of times you like to pick it into melee supports because his Q is a good auto attack reset that also saps attack speed. So that's why he's really, really strong at bodying other melee supports.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
And there you have it, folks. So we see a nice vision trade going on here. Both these junglers, maybe an actual trade of objectives. Now, TDO did have a ward down, so they did see Triple B walk into the jungle. But Bargain Bin can't be positive of where TDO is currently located.
Yeah. It looks like they're going to go ahead and steal that red buff, actually.
Wow, keep an eye on where Coffee's actually choosing to recall. I was really getting worried about him pathing through the enemy jungle.
Yeah, no, I was about to comment about on how his pathing is, just based upon, you know, the fact that they have a good amount of vision and they're in their jungle. Oh, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and send TDO starting off at the enemy red buff. Purple's gonna get a couple hits down to help him out, and he's actually gonna still beat Coffee to lane. Whether or not he's going to take the long angle of entries, making it a little harder for people to predict whether or not he did take their red buff.
So I want to talk about top lane real fast here, because Coffee, I really don't like what he did here at level 1. Not only did he take the long way back to lane to get there late for no real reason other than just not timing properly, but he's also starting with a corrupting potion against Dr. Mundo as opposed to a Doran's or a longsword, which is going to really reduce his ability to early bully out Purple Pickle Pie.
That is just actually just a comfort thing. It might be he's just not comfortable playing against. He's worried that he's playing against someone better, and he wants to have like this HP sustain. He doesn't think he's gonna be able to bully him.
I assume that is what he's doing, and
But,
I understand why he's doing it. But you know, I have to point out why I think it's not optimal.
No, that's totally reasonable.
I mean, Coffee's at least got the advantage of I like him, so I'm not just saying it's fucking garbage of him to do that like I would if it was Madam Strip up there. I like Madam Strip, but it's really fun to call him out when he makes mistakes.
That's fair. That's fair.
So,
I definitely agree with that. Known him for quite a bit of time in real life. It's the same way.
Thermidor gets a really nice, presumably going to get a 3-buff start here. He's going to have a big EXP heads up on Mikuro.
Yeah, Gragas is like in a really awkward spot because he did not realize that he started off at his red and he wanders through the jungle to find out that half of it's just gone. And now he's going to go into the top jungle and find out that's also just gone. So the positive end is they know where Thermidor is now. The negative end is that Thermidor's literally got an entire level and a bunch of creeps up on him. And Gragas doesn't have anything to show for it.
That's 8-18, and Shyvana's now going to his red buff. That's a ridiculous lead for a jungler.
Yeah, no. That could not have gone worse, pretty much, how all that went.
And I guess I have to just say I'm not even sure if I'm that surprised, because who on Batty Bargain Bin do you see being the shot caller in that situation? Like, hey, he started at our red buff, so Mick, you know, adjust accordingly. And Mick's not an experienced jungler. He's doesn't practice much anymore. He played mid for most of his career, so I guess he just didn't recognize that situation on his own, and it really cost him.
The other problem was that when he walked into this jungle, and he saw his race were missing, he should have immediately noticed that's going to be a heads up. It's like something's wrong. See some trades going back and forth in the bot lane. 30 using that Nami with the Sivir to bully the Solution Trundle. I'm not 100% familiar with Nami right now, actually, and how she matches up against Trundle, but just kind of based off how I know how Trundle matches with other ones. I imagine that's about how this should be going. The Nami should be being a bully. And just being able to drive that lane for the first bit. Trundle probably picks up a bit once he hits 6.
Yeah, I would agree with that assessment. So TDO currently winning all 3 lanes and the jungle. And big gank on Coffee.
Big gank coming out. We're gonna get the flash out of Mr. Coffee. Just doesn't want to bother. If he gets hit by that red buff, he will probably be dead.
And Coffee's
this
gonna
is
have
really,
to.
really bad.
Nope, he's actually gonna stick around. He doesn't want to back and teleport to this big wave and maybe lose some of it. Maybe he wants more gold before he backs.
Well, he has 3 pots of his corrupting potion, so he can stick around and he's able to stay with it. Like, he's just gonna heal up.
It's a good call for him. But even if he's able to get most of this wave under his turret, he's going to be down 3.
He'd be down 17
3
minions.
waves.
17 minions.
That is so rough for this, not only top lane matchup, but also this jungle matchup.
We're gonna see Swerve's just wiping the wave with the ult. Gragas, however, is gonna be coming and ganking Purple Pickle Pie. He's gonna chuck out the barrel. He's gonna get the slow, come with the Bison, and Purple's gonna dodge it. And he's gonna flash out. We're gonna get the trade flash back, but he's gonna get a little cleaver down on Coffee. Tell him to back the fuck up.
That's when it's okay to say outplayed in all chat, folks. When you juke like that.
That was a really nice juke. I'm surprised a lot of people would just probably flash just to be safe ahead of time there and just get out, but he's like, yeah, I can juke this, no problem. He had to flash anyways later, but gets to stick around in lane. Meanwhile, Gragas sneaking up behind Zerbs. Blab's gonna get the pull down. He's not gonna have enough mana for the ult though, and because of that, Zerb's gonna flash out, but the Ignite's ticking. He will launch himself to safety though. But Bluer was not paying attention to his mana. The Malzahar ult still cost a hefty amount. It cost 100 mana, and after he set up the pool and put the visions onto him, it put him down to about 80, like 70, 60 mana. Meanwhile, Micro coming up again for the ult. He's gonna get the bias on this time, but Mundo's got the ult ticking, and Mr. Coffee's gonna miss the pull. Mundo assuredly gets out safely. Sitting there doing some laugh taunting.
And we are at a 1,300 gold lead and rising from TDO just off of laning phase. It's 38 to 19 CS in the jungle. Jesus. That is
the fact that you're still juggling someone in jungle CS at 7 minutes is disgusting.
It's unheard of. Like, that doesn't happen in the jungle. It just doesn't happen in the jungle.
No. Something to point out, actually, is just to put the magnitude of how hard Thermidor is farming. He has the most gold in the game right now.
Exactly what you don't want to happen to that Shyvana, right?
No, that's like the worst thing you could have happen here. You don't want to see this happen.
Yeah, Argenbin definitely going to need... They really want to try to force an early fight to maybe start turning this around, and I don't even know where they do that.
Yeah, this is looking really, really rough for them. 1.2k gold lead just off farm in 8 minutes. Maybe they can try and force an early dragon fight or a gank on bot to make some play happen. But they had something going for them there in their mid lane for a moment, but then the Zwerves was able to get out just fine with the flash.
So, a lot of recalls happening. Everyone just kind of resetting into their lanes.
Yeah, no, now we're going to see everyone getting their first buy. Actually, Bubble going to land on a Micro. 30's kind of dancing around. He's putting actually a decent chunk of damage onto him. Micro's getting really low, but Vivor's going to jump over the wall. He's going to start putting out a couple auto attacks. Ghost 32's going to come up, toss the Boomerang Blade, and kind of equal out that damage, telling Vivor to back away from my support. He's mine.
I would really like to see TDO go for Dragon here. I
know Micro's like super
the early Dragon, but Micro's chunked, and when you're running a Devourer jungler, that is like the most valuable early Dragon can be.
Yeah, I would say you can get an early Dragon at 9 minutes. Like normally an early Dragon right at the current point is like not too strong. The only thing it does is it sets you up for a quicker 3rd and 5th Dragon.
But you get those 5 Devourers,
you get 5 stacks
really
of Devour,
helps.
That's a huge chunk. And I mean, every stack helps. Like the more stacks you have in Devourer, the faster you clear. It's just a vicious cycle until it becomes fully stacked, and then you're just murdering everything. Something I want to point out though, we're seeing a very impressive Zwerves is the highest CS in the game. He has a 20 CS lead on Malzahar. Malzahar has about a half a wave left, so he's got he has 3 waves. He has a 3-wave lead on Blabuer.
Really impressive. I didn't notice that until just now either. And once again, Blabuer's the one that's playing against the jungle Shyvana, who knows he's not really under any gank pressure. And he's actually had ganks in his lane. He had that good gank from Micro before his was back earlier.
Yeah. Meanwhile, 30 getting the bubble out onto Failed Destiny. Failed Destiny's gonna get knocked back by the Zig Satchel Charge. Boomerang's gonna come up, but Failed Destiny's just gonna be able to walk away. A nice attempted gank from Zerv. He's gonna chuck the grenade, get a little damage from Failed Destiny, but he realizes that Malzahar is in wait. He's gonna have to take the long way back to his lane. But like, that's huge. I mean, from what most people are considering the de facto best. Oh. Alright, from like what people are considering the de facto best mid laner. The second best mid laner in the SBL. Not bad from Swerves.
Yeah, he can be happy with that. And that just goes to show what happens when you play Ziggs. I mean, how do you bully that guy out? You really don't. He's Ziggs, you know?
No, yeah, no. Ziggs is just such an incredibly safe laner. Malzahar does not have many options for filters. We're actually see the pillar come out from the he's gonna be on the wrong side, but Gragas is gonna barrel blast him over to the right side, pulls something down. Malzahar is gonna get the Nether Vision, and that's gonna go first blood onto Micro.
They got 3 guys there. I really want to see them put some pressure out of this tower. They need an objective of some sort, and it's just the Shyvana that's there.
So Shyvana is trying to clear the way as the best she can, but she's getting a lot of poke. Meanwhile, Vivret putting a lot of damage onto 30. He picked up some tower shots, but he's going to eat the boomerang back. We have a lot of pressure going around all this map all of a sudden. Unfortunately for Baddie Bargain Bin, they're only going to be able to take off a little bit of over a third of the health bar on that tower.
Zwerves just spawned there, so even if Triple B had opted to push, he could have tossed in the Mega Inferno Bomb and ended that.
No.
He's actually going to do that for CS here.
I find that a little surprising just because it's a very high impact cooldown, and it's like almost,
And
he's got 10% CDR,
well.
It's a 2-minute cooldown at base rank, so unless he has extra CDR in the mastery, that's still like 110 seconds, 108 seconds.
Yeah, maybe if no one was there, that would have been okay, but Shyvana was there. That's just really, really greedy, especially when it's the best player on your team playing a high-scaling champ like Shyvana.
Yeah, he's actually going to go ahead and try to pick up this dragon. He's trying to get those stacks, but everyone's collapsing onto him. He is going to be able to pick up the dragon, but this could be very dangerous. He's going to dragon out, and Zorge is going to flash. Mr. Coffee's going to TP in, though, so it was not all for naught. It was looking very, very dangerous with that dragon, but the things go out. They're going to try and take mid lane back. Mikro's starting to set up the wave clear.
I don't know if they're going to be able to. Ziggs is too close. Nami's there. Nami has the
Nami's going to bust the wave and try to set it out. Get the bubble onto Mr. Coffee. He's going to eat the Q. You see a satchel charge and the minefield go down. Not enough coming out. Pool and Silence coming across Swerves. Yeah, like, that would have been a really nice chance to have the Mega Inferno Bomb there. You probably could have picked someone off.
Yeah, there could have been a 4-man ult in the middle of that. It would have been huge.
Get the satchel charge, knock someone back towards your tower, get the Mega Inferno Bomb and a Q to wipe the minion wave. Oh, meanwhile, Greg is coming in again. He gets the knockup, blast him back into the pool and the Nether Vision once again. This is a very potent gank combo, and they are putting it to work, getting a second kill onto Swerves.
This is good. They really slowed down.
Oh, but now he's going to land the bubble onto Mikro. He's doing a lot of damage. He's going to body slam out, though. Purple Pie running in, gets ignited under the funnel.
Yeah, that was a questionable ignite.
Yeah, that was like a total panic ignite from what I could tell. That was just like, oh shit, you're under my tower. Set him on fire.
Now, folks, let me tell you about a summoner that doesn't really do much for you when you're panicking. Ignite! It doesn't stop them from tower diving you. It barely deters them, especially when they're a full health tank running in.
I'll say. Maybe he thought Mundo was gonna ult, who knows, but yeah. Probably
So,
just a little nervous.
Looking at the builds here while we have a little bit of downtime, Swerves opted to go for the Athene's Unholy Grail build on Ziggs, which was the classic Ziggs build back when Ziggs and Easy Hoon, you know, that stuff was all meta. What do you think of that build at this point in time? Is that still something you'd go if you played Ziggs in this matchup?
Ziggs is still one of the champions I can go between Morellos or Athene's. I think Athene's is the right call in this point. He's getting a lot of pressure onto him. Athene's gives some better. It does give like a bit better mana regeneration in exchange for less damage, and it reduces the damage of both the Gragas and the Malzahar, which is something that can really help. Meanwhile, 30's gonna actually get the wave across the Malzahar and followed into the bubble. He's taking a lot of damage from Swerves. He's gonna get exhausted. He's gonna follow. Mega Vermon's gonna come in. He's gonna flash out to the side.
Jesus Christ, I didn't know this until that fight, but Labour has actually got a 2-level lead on his Swerves now. 11-9.
That's actually like really big. Like the thing is that Swerves is missed. So while Swerves is like very even with him in CS, when he's died and when he's gone missing, like he's gone to roam, he's lost a lot. Thermidor's gonna just run in and they're gonna totally destroy Vivret. There's no contest there.
That was a really bad play out of Vivret. Just very little awareness for the former Diamond player. Not something you could expect out of him. And that really slows down the nice momentum that Triple B has been building over the last few minutes, because now they're going to lose bot tower, nearly lose top as well.
Purple Pickle Pie is going to actually just bop back off at the last minute. It's going to be down to like 600 HP though, so it's pretty easy pickings later on for when Purple wants to get it, but he does keep that gold tied up in that tower for a little longer. But things are not looking good for this BBB squad. TDO is up 3k at 16 minutes with the late scaling team. Oh, 30's waiting. He's going to walk into Failed Destiny. Failed Destiny is just going to give him the club. And they're going to push in Thermidor and Ghost 32 high on their coattails. Not really too sure what they're trying to accomplish here at the moment, but
So I'm really curious to see what TDO does over the next few minutes because I wonder if 30, the shot caller, realized how far ahead his team is right now. Because normally as a shot caller, you think more about bigger picture things, and you forget to factor in things like how much you're bodying the enemy team on CS, especially in that jungle matchup.
no say. Like,
Oh my
almost the
God.
entire gold lead in this game is on
Thermidor
the
is up
jungle.
2,000 gold on Mikaro.
Yeah.
2,000
still has-
gold at 17 minutes.
He has 1,000 gold over the next most person in the game. Like, I don't think it's really hard for people to realize how gigantic this Shyvana is. She already has a Tiamat, her Devourer is sated, she has a Spectre's Cull, she's already getting tanky, she already does a lot of damage.
And she's the highest level in this game.
The highest level in this game.
Oh.
That moment when your jungler is the strongest person in this game, Thermidor's actually, like, Thermidor is going to destroy these fights. Back to camera, please.
It's okay, you gotta trust the camera. You see all those bodies around each other on the minimap, but you know they're not fighting, or else the camera would have gone there.
Yeah, we're
They
gonna
do
get the...
force a flash out of failed destiny at least, so they get something, I guess.
Yep, we're gonna see the 4-man group coming in from BBB into this mid lane. They're gonna try and force something now. They realize they have to make something happen soon. This Shyvana clock is just ticking and ticking. Mikaro's gonna come and get the nice buy slam with the failed destiny. 30's gonna get hit by just about everything. The exhaust is gonna go on a favor, but 30's gonna go down. Lots of damage coming from Ghost 32 on a failed destiny, but Blabber's gonna go ahead and put the visions and the ignite onto Ghost 32 to tie him up as well. That is 2 for 0, but meanwhile Thermidor and Typical Pie are pushing in and taking the top tower. We'll see if they actually go ahead and get anything on this. It looks like they're moving to the dragon.
They're going to lose the second tower top.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Thermidor and Pickle Pie realize that there's nothing else for them to get on the map. They're going to go ahead and push into the second tower. Mr. Coffee's going to teleport in to protect it, but it's only getting a sizable amount of damage. Meanwhile, the rest of BBB is finishing off the dragon. The Mega Inferno's going to come in, but it is not going to hit anyone.
Speaking of Mega Inferno Bombs I don't like, that one should have gone for the creeps at bot lane tower because no one's going to get there to get that CS. That is a sizable amount of CS. And
Yeah, no.
praying that the enemy top third jungler is not going to smite, I think is just not a worthwhile gamble. Especially
That's
for
like-
what would have just been the second dragon.
I mean, that was like 2.5 waves of casters right there, at least. Like, there was at least a dozen minions, if not more. Probably more. That's a good chunk of gold. That's a good chunk of XP, and you're in a champion that really needs that XP right now. You're 2 lanes down on your opponent. The enemy squad is showing that they're willing to force some fights and start trying to force and pick. Six is really good at stalling out these sieges. Could have used that XP.
So can I fire a shot that's more season-long relevance than today relevance?
Yeah, why not?
Do you
We
think
got
Wes
time.
is watching this game to see how a Devourer jungler is supposed to be played?
Ooh. Ooh.
I'm getting like these bad feelings in my tummy.
Failed Destiny, Thermidor's gonna
That's
go
why.
home, and Dragon's descent onto him. The exhaust is gonna go out, but he's still going hard. 30's gonna bring these Tsunami Wave coming across. The bubble's gonna land on a failed Destiny. Ghost is gonna toss the boomerang and just auto him. You're gonna put him down. Viverat's gonna run out for his life, but there's nothing he can do to save his support. I mean, that's pretty fantastic. I think Wes's team is not one that works very well with him on a Devourer jungler. I think he needs to be on something that can
absolutely
gank early
not.
and hard.
I could go on a I could do a Thorin's thoughts about Wes on Devourer for that team specifically.
Oh, yeah.
But this right now, Thermidor, is the Twitch emote SBL smog.
Like, all those times, like, you know, like, you hear all those horror stories about Devourer, about how this jungler just comes in and just, like, 3v1s people, and it's like, oh, how did they do that? This is that. Like, this is, like, the nightmare Devourer story. Where you just single-handedly, the gold difference on you and the enemy jungler is just the entire difference of gold in the game. He has 2,600 gold more than Mikro. His team has 3.8k lead. Like...
Thermidor has 1,300 more gold than the next most on his team. That's just he's only got
Yeah.
one kill. Like,
The thing is that jungle, like, he's relevant in the amount of CS he has to his solo laners, and jungle CS is worth more than lane CS. It's something to remember. Just because there's so much gold tied up. Meanwhile, Thermidor's gonna get Ghost Rider 2's gonna get hit, blocked by the pillar. He's gonna come in. Micro's coming in looking for it. He's gonna wait for the spell shield, but he's gonna blast him away with explosive cast. Pick up out, teleports in, putting a lot of damage on Failed Destiny. The Mega Inferno's gonna whip. He's gonna get knocked up by Micro, but he is still chasing. Sounds comes down. Bravura's gonna go ahead and do the knockout. Nether Visions, but he's gonna get blasted away by the Satchel Charge from Ziggs. Ghost Rider 2 taking a lot of damage from this tower.
They're losing a lot of
TDO
pressure in
squad's
this side
trying to
lanes,
get
though.
this turret.
TDO
Yeah, no.
really wants the brute force just to take the more valuable tower if they can.
No, yeah,
But it's gonna
meanwhile,
be tough.
top tower is going to go down. Top tower is ticking away as Mr. Coffee's hitting on this, and this mid tower is still standing strong, but lots of damage coming out onto Micro, Failed Destiny, and Bravura.
This was a
But it
really
looks
good
like-
hold out of Triple B. That was the kind of play they needed to stall this game out a bit.
That
And
was
they
really,
executed
really
it
tough.
successfully.
They somehow didn't lose anyone in there. They actually blew quite a bit of summoners. They blew the teleport, and they picked up 2 side turrets for that. That's really big.
Now, here's one thing that I don't think 30's factoring in the shot calls. For those of you who have never read The Hobbit, Smaug the Dragon defends his gold with everything he's got. He would never let Bilbo Baggins walk in and take his 2 side turrets like that.
No, I totally agree. That was very, very rough. That is a... Smaug finds that out. Smaug's a very unhappy dragon. He finds out that they came in, they robbed his gold, they stole his riches.
So we're going to find out if Smaug burns down a village to compensate for this.
Yeah.
He's been known to do things like that.
So, I mean, he's an angry man. He robbed his gold. He thought he could trust his money in the tower bank, but the tower banks were weak. Oh, man.
So, but unfortunately for BBB, as good as that play was, they still are the team with the confidence on a bit more of a timer here. So
Oh,
if
yeah.
they've-
Oh, Purple Guy's gonna get blasted by this. Guy's under tower, but he's just gonna ult immediately and get out. Sorry to interrupt you, that there was the possibility of something big happening.
No, that's fine. I mean, they got the Mundo ult out. It's not the biggest thing in the world, but that does give them a little bit of a power play window where Mundo won't have 6,500 health. But
Yeah.
they do have a timer because Darius is closing in on that second tower top.
He's got a sizable wave. He's still pushing. However, they're going for the dive build. That's taking a lot of damage. Micro taking a lot of damage. They're taking out this tower. It is going down, and Thermidor is descending upon his prey. He's feasting on this Trundle, but he's not going to go. Micro's going to go get picked up by the Ziggs. Quickfire taking a lot of damage. He's going to get the cleaver to finish off Failed Destiny, though. That's going to be a 2-for-0 trade and picking up the mid tower. But Mr. Coffee says it's not all for naught as he takes the inner turret in the top lane.
Think twice, die once doesn't feel like they have enough health to continue this push, so they can't trade second tier top lane for second tier mid lane. Once again, that is a big win for the baddie bargain bin.
I don't know if it's a big win because of the 2 kills. Like, the 2 kills is a lot of gold as well. Something to think about. Like, if it was just a
that's
tower
true, but the map pressure that creates, I would be willing to take that trade most of the time. They're still in a rough place, don't get me wrong, but I think
Yeah.
it was an okay trade. And this upcoming Dragon fight is going to be big. Mr. Coffee's only sitting on 1,300 gold, so not enough that he has to be worried about coming to this fight. And I presume we are going to see a full 5-on-5 unless
Yeah,
there
we're
is.
gonna see the Mundo ult. They're coming on. They're trying to run down the nice circulation. He's gonna get the flash Astral Charge. He's gonna get caught damage. He's gonna go ahead and put a lot of damage onto Ghost 32, but he's gonna heal and he's gonna
Wow.
get Nami heal to save him.
User joined
Meanwhile,
your
Mr.
channel.
Coffee's pulling in Thermidor. Thermidor, however, is just taking onto it. He is thank you for the gap closer as he's slapping Mr. Coffee over and over again, putting a sizable amount of damage. As this TDO squad sends upon their second dragon of the game.
So going back to that last fight that led to the mid turret going down for TDO and the tower trade ultimately happening, that to me was a case of the shot caller just tunneling too hard on his plan and not being
was-
willing to give it up. Oh,
Dragons is coming out on the Failed Destiny. He's going to put a lot of damage on it. Perfectly fine as well.
The back line got split.
The Stratton team. Failed Destiny's going to flash over the wall, and Swerves and 30 are going to disengage from this Vivrat Gragas combo. Wow. Something I want to point out is that, I don't know if you saw right before that as well, but Ziggs tossed his ult to clear that wave in the middle that they were going to anyways.
do you think there's a chance that maybe Zwerbs heard all those nice things we were saying about him on the baddie review, and he's like, I'll show these guys I could be a bad mid laner?
Maybe. I mean, that was like they literally like
That
he
was-
like
that was a
tosses the
really
ult to
bad
clear the
bomb.
wave,
That was-
and then his team like just walks there immediately, and like 5 to 10 seconds later, they're like, okay, hey, let's go ride our minion wave in. There was just no need.
Yeah, I have been unimpressed with Zwerves for the last. I mean, he's done his job, but did your job can mean so many different things, and it's been one of the less positive forms of doing your job that he's done this game.
And it's just really weird because he started off the first 15 minutes of this game so strong, and then it just stopped. Like,
Yeah, he just hasn't had much. I mean, for Wadsworth, he is at a nice power spike in his build now. He's got the Athene and the Luden's Echo. Actually, a question I want to ask you is, he's got the Ionian Boots of Lucidity as opposed to Sorcerer's Shoes. Is that a thing?
it is popular at a lot of levels of play. Normally, a lot of times you see Ionians when people go like an Abyssal Scepter first, or Azonias first, or they're a champion that's running Flash and Teleport, or really
Yeah, I know it's
is heavily
popular on a lot
reliant
of
on
other
their
champions.
Flash.
I'm curious about the Zig specifically.
No, yeah. For this thing specifically, it happens occasionally. I do not think it is right in this instance. In this instance, this is definitely a situation where you want to go Sorcerers. No one on the enemy team besides the jungler is building a lot of MR, but you have to worry about the Trundle Locket, and so you need to get some of that damage, otherwise you're just getting a lot of your damage gutted out. And assuming that he probably has some CDR from like Masteries. Oh, the Nami is gonna come out. It's gonna catch
Let's
Thermidor.
go.
The Flash is gonna come out. Dragon's Descent's gonna come through. Thermidor's gonna get deleted instantly. Thermidor, however, is just marching through his team, burning and raising all that come upon him. Gregus is gonna try to body slam out, but Purple Pickle Pie, meanwhile, is on the hunt for Vivret. They're gonna fail his dash. He's gonna flash, and he's gonna get caught by the Swerve's last bounce of his bomb. Meanwhile, this means this is going to be a Baron for TDO. Failed Destiny gonna peek his head in, but there's not much he can do. He can throw the pillar in to be annoying, but
Nick did
TDO,
cancel his back. He's gonna come and try to flash steal this.
yeah, Mr. Coffee coming around. He's trying to like
TDO
be
will
intimidating.
see him
Mikro's
coming,
coming in.
though.
He's gonna go over it.
He stole it!
Oh my god, he's gonna body
stole it!
slam over the wall, and he's gonna splash out. He stole the Baron. However, failed Destiny's gonna go down from Thermidor. Mr. Coffee chasing in. He puts a lot of damage on a Purple Pickle Pie, and the dots are ticking, but he's gonna be able to heal through it. Mr. Coffee actually, oh my goodness, he's going to get the kill.
I don't think that was worth for Mr. Coffee just because there's gonna be such a big Baron siege coming at his team. But at least he got the kill.
Yeah.
But now a lot of questions going to be coming out in these next few minutes. What can the Batty Bargain Bin do with this Baron Dasher buff? Because
Well, I think
that
they
was
only-
just...
They only have it on one person. So they can't split with it. That's out of the question.
Yep, you're right.
What
They
they-
only have it on Mikro, so...
Yeah. That was a really big steal for Mikro, though. Hashtag Barons, please. It seems like Mick still has the D20 role in the jungle, but instead of for his game, it's just for each individual action.
Yeah, TDO just made the wrong call there. They had the vision when they saw Mick coming. They must have assumed he was back, and Mick got in there at like the exact last minute possible and feed over that wall. He might have even flashed in there somewhere. I lost track of it all.
Yeah.
Because they just did not seem to think there was a chance of him coming, so they didn't stop the Baron early to kill Mikaro when he came in. But
Oh,
6
man,
weeks
that-
later, Mick finally rolls a 20.
Fantastic. Got his 20. Can he roll another one? He's going to need to roll another 20 for them to win this game. Despite the fact that they have the Baron there pushing down, they're still down 5k.
He's a teleport lane, got a
Surf's up,
Mundo.
Nami Wave's coming through, but all of them know how to surf, they get through it. Very nice to show he's going to have to flash over the wall. Purple Pickle Pie causing a lot of trouble on the backline. Meanwhile, Thermidor eating everything in sight. He's going to get the Nether Visions on to Purple Pickle Pie, but he does not care. He is tanky enough that he's just slapping through and dealing with both of them. That is going to be a very clean 4-for-1.
So can I ask you a hypothetical question real fast?
Yeah.
If you're BBB, who do you think's the biggest threat on TDO?
The Shyvana.
Why? What about
you
the Nami? Are you not scared of the merman? Why
I
not
don't
scared
know.
of the
Maybe
merman?
you're like some prejudice against fish people.
You're just a caster. How could you even know better?
You're right. I don't know
Danny
that.
Bargain is a professional bad League of Legends team, and I just saw him focus the shit out of that Nami. There must have been a reason for that. Actually, no, there's not a reason. That was really bad. What were you guys doing? They put
Like-
so much pressure onto that Nami, while Thermidor and Purple Pickle Pie were destroying every line on their team.
Like, that was Thermidor took the front line, and Purple Pickle Pie took the back line, and together they ate everything. Meanwhile,
And sometimes in league,
BBB is literally blowing everything for a piece of sushi that doesn't have a bubble or an alt left. We're getting another fight. Thermidor's going to secure another Dragon Mithro. Tries to get the explosive cast as he dies. Chicom's going to teleport in, get the pull in on Goes 32 and swerves, but he's getting exhausted. They're going to kite it out. Vivaret's getting slapped around by Thermidor. Thermidor's in the back line doing a lot of damage. Going to put down Mr. Coffee here. Goes 32 is going to get the last auto to finish it off. Allure is running for his life into the top lane as 30 and Thermidor are on the hunt. Meanwhile, Veiled Destiny and Vivaret are going to try to safely recall. If they have the minions crashing in, they're going to get this tower.
Bargain Bin looks tilted. They're trying to force plays, which can be, sometimes it is the proper play when you're behind, but they're trying to force things and they're not coordinating it at all.
Yeah, no. Oh, Master's just here. Totally locked up Thermidor and Purple Pickle Pie are going to go jump onto him. They're going to run down Vivaret as well. It's going to be a double kill for Purple. Failed Destiny is going to try and just slow down the bleeding, but it's not going to be enough. Purple Pickle Pie is hitting that tower, taking out the inhibitor. This will almost assuredly be the game. Picker comes with the body slam, the nice barrel, but it is just not enough. This Thermidor Purple Pickle Pie tank squad is just chewing through everything. There's just nothing that BBB can do about this. They just tank it, they ignore it, and they just do all this damage.
Yeah, that was just.
These last-ditch efforts are literally just buying them a few extra seconds as their corpses hit the ground before the Nexus explodes in a very convincing and solid win for TDO.
That was a Thermidor body these fools type of game.
Thermidor,
And
I want to point out, Thermidor and 30 were involved in almost every kill. Thermidor was involved in 18 of 19, and 30 was involved in all 19. Thermidor had more gold than everyone else in this game. He tanked, he dealt damage, he did everything.
yeah,
What
he was
what,
pretty
like,
good.
This game was just, there was a few highlights, shimmering hopes, but like, that was
SBL
insane.
Smog, boys.
Like,
SBL Smog.
Thermidor dealt the most damage on his team, and he took the most damage on the team. He didn't die. He just came in, devoured everything, and called it a day. If,
I would like to get Thermidor in here, but unfortunately he has a young child and tends to go missing the second he gets out of game. So he is already offline entirely. So we will not get to hear from him, which is fine because I don't think I speak whatever language Smog speaks. So
okay.
that helps. So we're going to see if we can get 30 and Purple in here. If maybe Zed could yank them up for us.
User was moved to your channel.
Hello, 30.
User was
and
moved to your channel.
hello, Purple Pickle Pie. I don't really want to talk to either of you, to be honest. I wanted to talk to Thermidor, but he obviously leaves the second his games are over. So I'm going to ask you guys some questions about Thermidor.
Yeah.
What is your thought on dragons?
Well, I mean, our main sponsor is Bad Dragon, so I mean, this is really just to get some Matt Skrilla. That's just a grab.
How does it
money.
feel to support your Lord Smog?
It feels great. I mean, we give everything to him, and in return, he protects us and hoards the gold.
He was just, I didn't know you could get that big as a jungler. Like, I thought that was something like, it was theoretically possible if you read the intro chapters to some really crazy, like, Bronze Elo books where no one's doing CS. But Thermidor, he was just, I can't believe how early in the game he had the most gold in the game, and it never stopped. It's just everything. I just want to gush about Thermidor some more.
Yeah.
If I told you
Alright.
at the 10-minute mark, he had more gold than everyone, and he had the most gold for the entire rest of the game.
Are you kidding me?
No.
So you guys are gonna have a treat of a VOD to watch, but I guess we gotta
Yeah.
ask some questions here. So you guys had a really awesome 3-buff start that completely caught Batty Bargainman off guard. You had sight of them where they traded vision. They didn't have sight of you guys. You went in there. Mick didn't expect it because he went to his red side of his jungle and he's like, "Oh, there's no camps here." And Thermidor just laughed straight to the bank and got his 3rd buff. I mean, Was that something you guys had pretty set up ahead of time? Did you think it could go that well?
No, I mean we don't. Honestly, we don't ever play in level ones. We just look at our team comp right when we load onto the pad, and if we like our chances, we just say invade and just ping a place and we go to it.
Okay, because my team doesn't play at level ones, and we just do zone defense every game. So
Yeah, no,
It's
Thermidor
our-
said I got 3 buffed, and we're like, wait, what? He's like, no, I have 3 buffs. I'm like, oh, and we're like, oh,
Yeah.
lol.
Yeah, there was a point where I was like, "Oh, look, Thermidor is up 21-8 CS," and it just it was disgusting.
It
how
was sad
big
to
he
see
got.
Mikro like comes into the other side of jungle, sees the wraiths are gone, walks over, sees his redder's gone, walks over into the top river and it's like, I don't really want to do scuttle yet. And then just kind of like looks at top. He's like, I can't gank that. It's pushed in. And then just kind of walks back into his jungle. And it was really, really sad. Meanwhile, during that time, Thermidor was actively completing his own red buff.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It was very, very brutal.
Yeah. He's really good.
So, people were clearly scared of Thermidor's gank champs from earlier this season. He obviously was having some big impact. Now we're seeing Thermidor playing some Devourer. What's this guy's weakness? Like, what do you do to stop Thermidor? You guys are his teammates. Like, you got to have the inside track. Is there something that tilts him? Can I just like all chat some Lady Gaga lyrics, and that's like his trigger brings him back to Vietnam, and he suddenly just goes to shit in AFKs?
I don't think he ever tilts, actually.
No, dude, Therm is the chillest.
He's very
guy.
level-headed, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's just a superstar, man. He has no ego, too. Like,
Yeah.
he's the most humble player in this
He is.
goddamn league, and then he
Yes,
does
he
things
is.
like that.
Has Thermidor ever told you that he's actually almost been to Diamonds before?
No.
Yeah.
No, wait, I
Oh.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
He was
knew
in
that.
high
I didn't
plat.
think about this guy. I
wanna
just learned
say-
last week he has
I
a
knew
kid on the
that.
way, a second kid on the way, and he's 31 years old.
Yeah, he barely played ranked, and he just like accidentally got to Platinum one season.
Yeah, I was talking to him about it when we always do OQ together. And he was telling me, I want to say like season 3, or season 4, one of the two, he was really high plats, and I was like, wow, I did not know that. And he's like, yeah, I just don't really play ranked that often. I just want to play ranked just so I can get the platinum border, and that's about it. So,
Do you think there's a chance that Thermidor is better than Master Splinter?
This season, absolutely.
they're equal.
They're the same.
We just saw what Splinter could do, and I mean we've seen what Therm can do. I would like to see
I
them
wanna
both
see
go
a
at it
game.
though.
I want to see a game where not only they go at it, but they go as big as they were in their respective games today.
About to be
Oh,
next
that'd
week.
be beautiful.
I'm just 280 carries, 2 mid laners crying and doing nothing the entire game, while the junglers 2v8. That actually sounds pretty beautiful.
That sounds like a fun game.
So, I'll ask you guys one question that's not about Thermidor then.
Mhm.
You are
Cool.
now in a tie for first place with Waifu Superstar, a game ahead of the 3-way tie for 3rd through 5th. Obviously, you guys are pretty confident with 30 back at supports. But how do you feel just moving forward on the rest of this season?
Purple.
We're gonna finish as strong as started these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I feel very, very confident. Our gameplay, as you could see, this was a 33-minute victory, and then last week was 30,
26.
20, 29? It was like 26 to 30, somewhere in there. We have very decisive shot calling now, and like we're really on top of our shit. I feel very confident going into the end of the season.
Yep.
Very nice.
All right, well, I think that about sums it up. So, I think this is where we normally make jokes about 30 playing 80 carry, and then he screams to cut the stream, and then Zed cuts the stream. So we're